Welcome to Pull the Pin Radio, a place you're guaranteed to get a veteran's opinion about the world we live in today. I am Jim, and as you can see, it is only I, Jim. Um, I have fatigue, to say the least, and it's probably affected everything. If any of you longtime watchers, maybe Johnny and Christine know, this was established back into COVID to keep veterans from, you know, isolation and depression and things like that. It's really becoming, well, it's not just this, it's just everything going on. It's just become depressing in itself. And the fatigue, whether it's you know victim fatigue, black fatigue, Israel fatigue, or Democrat fatigue, it's just really getting tiresome. And Jace is not here. I'm not really sure where he is. I haven't heard from him the last week we were supposed to record. So I don't know what's going on. In all fairness, too, I haven't reached out because, again, I'm kind of tired of trying to put this together, pull this together. I know it kind of sucks, and I sound like, you know, boo-hoo, woe is me. Johnny, Christine, I mean, you guys have been really loyal. Appreciate you guys. It's been, real. I'm not sure if this will be the last episode, but again, I was hoping this would be a little bit more, but it's actually becoming a burden. And even as, time is available, I just don't understand why, this is, I don't know. I guess it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So what I'm trying to say is I'm going to do an episode today. I'll do it by myself. This is something I really didn't want to do because I don't want to be a YouTuber. I've even got podcast fatigue, to be honest with you. I don't want to be a YouTuber or whatever the hell they call these people these days. That's not my intention. I wanted to do this as a community, get veterans on, to share, to keep us all. But it's become very tiring to try to find people to get on here and coordinate this stuff. And I mean, I'm doing the bulk of the work. All I need is people to show up. That's it. And that's too difficult. So I'm kind of losing the motivation, and it's sad. It's unfortunate. I know this isn't right for everybody. I know everybody wasn't going to do this, but that is where I'm at. So I'm going to leave that alone as it is and just let you know I got fatigue, but I'm going to push through for this episode, whether it's my last episode or whether we just put out sporadic, or maybe, one of you veterans out there see this and want to actually get involved, turn this into something a little bit more, because I'm not carrying this weight anymore. I'm just tired. I'm just really tired of it. And it's been fun, but if I'm just going to go get online and complain about stuff, I can do that in my own bedroom by myself. Johnny and Christine, I guess you guys are welcome to join, but you're probably a little far away to be in my bedroom. So I'm not going to allow that or suggest that. So without further ado, let's talk about the big elephant in the room, because yesterday was election day, and clearly that adds to the fatigue. I don't think anyone is surprised about a whatever Democratic sweep or whatever it is. I mean, all these elections were pretty much in Democratic states. The surprising one, I think, well, maybe not even surprised. Yeah, Virginia was the surprising one to me in two ways. One is obviously the Republican governor was just now taken over by a Democratic governor who, again, these people are, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say about these people anymore. I understand there's a different worldview. I understand, I've lived in the cities or around the cities. I've lived in the suburbs. I've been overseas. I've seen other countries. I've lived out in the middle of nowhere. I've been a lot of places. And I understand the human experience combined with the human instincts. I understand those are what creates our needs and our desires. Like, for example, I mean, I've been saying this for a long time. The number one human instinct is survival, right? So survival is a very selfish thing. So what that means is deep inside the root of all of us, we are very selfishly acting to survive. And I don't care how you slice it. I don't care if you want to pretend you're such a great person or you give to charity. In the end, your decisions will be made by your survival. Even those who sacrifice, like us in the military, for the sake of others, are doing that to build a legacy, to have a legacy. Because if you really didn't care about anything in the world, you wouldn't do these things. So even if you want to sacrifice your life for the sake of others, you are doing that for your legacy. You're doing that to satisfy your need to be significant or someone. You can try to dispute this. You can for sure. I'm not really sure I'm going to buy it. I'd be open to it, but I believe that you'd be lying to yourself, because ultimately we are selfish people. And I don't think that's become more obvious than the divide we have in this country, and the election shows it. I mean, we are literally putting socialists, a man who stood up in New York saying that immigrants are running the city now. Now, I have compassion. In fact, I married an immigrant. She came here legally. She's since deceased, if you don't know this, but it's been many years. I'm raising dual citizen, half, white, half Peruvian children whom I love more than anything in the world. So you can call me any names you want. I was raised by a black woman. You can call me any names you want. Whatever. My experiences are not just some shallow internet search. So I don't consider what I'm experiencing in this world to be everyone's experience. I get that. But I also understand that we in America take so many things for granted. And I've seen the people in the cities. There really are a group of people who think everything is free and milk comes from the grocery store. I've seen middle class, lower class people bust their ass to pay taxes to support people who literally could go to work. Now, I'm not talking about handicapped people, elderly people. I've seen communities hold these people up. And that's what should be holding these people up, not the government. So to watch what's happening, it's a dumpster fire. And people might think, hey, it probably needs to happen so they learn the lesson. And I've even said that before. I've come from a standpoint where, growing up as children, how many people have children, and these children, they don't listen to their parents. Even though their parents literally lived their life years before they've even had the opportunity to be born, they won't listen to their parents because for some reason we're so pig-headed that we've got to learn for ourselves. We think we know everything. We think, the world is what we believe it to be. And it's all because of our experiences and our drive for survival. I know what's best for me. And there's truth for that, right? There's truth for that. But there's also a lot of dead people who thought they knew what was best because they wouldn't listen or take the advice of other people. I mean, I don't care how you slice it. We all have different perspectives, views, needs, wants, but in the end, survival is an instinct we can't escape. We can't. Even the people that are zombies on the streets that everybody thinks, oh, well, they just need care. They need that. Well, you don't know if they've already got care. They're literally taking drugs and all this stuff probably to get rid of some pain or something they do not want to live with because they want to survive. They want to live a happy life again, and they just don't know how to do it. Or they're too far down the rabbit hole to get themselves out. So in the end, I don't care if New York wants to be socialist. I don't care. That's you. You do you, boo. Period. End of story. What I do care is that you bring me into your problems, that you make me part of your problems. In other words, I don't want my tax dollars. I don't want to be paying for New York to pay all their citizens because they don't want to go to work. New York is going to have to generate this money somewhere, right? And it's not just New York, whatever it is. They're going to have to generate this money somewhere. And you talk to these people, or I see videos of these people, they're so stupid. And I hate saying this, but there really is no cure for stupid. I mean, when I say stupid, I don't mean naive. I don't mean ignorant. I don't mean young and inexperienced. There are plenty of young and inexperienced people who have no idea because they have not encountered this. When I say stupid is when you lead the horse to the water and you say drink, and the horse is like, yeah, but Trump sucks. Like, what is wrong with you? Like, what is literally wrong with you? Trump is a man. You don't have to like him. His policies, you don't even have to like his policies, but you can open your freaking eyes and look out the window and see what you see. You can interpret that any way you damn want. But I guarantee you, until you can step into the position of other people and consider what else is possible, you are going to continue to make stupid decisions. Do I want immigrants to be happy and healthy? Do I want all these people that are all over the world to live happy, healthy life? Yes. And even though I may not like it, the United States of America sends a lot of money to foreign countries to help their people because we do have a lot of money. Unfortunately, we have a large group of people, and this is why the stupidity in Virginia continues to happen, but a group of people living in 2 cities in Virginia that all work in the government. So the shutdown, perfect example. I've said this before. You, just like calling January 6th an insurrection, erection day, whatever you want to call it, you are a moron if you think this is a Republican shutdown. You're a moron. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to make the prediction right now. I'm not Nostradamus, not the first person. But if you don't understand how it works, go look it up. Now, I'm not saying Republicans haven't done this because I don't trust any politician. I think once you get into politics, the money, the power, it consumes you. It makes you, run down that path of evil. But the Republicans have the Congress, which is why they were able to pass a continuing resolution, the same identical one, apparently, that Democrats have voted for 8 times or something. You can check the facts. Point is, it's the same one they've been voting for. So the House of the Congress has passed it. Now it's up to the Senate to pass it. Now the Senate, if you don't understand, is 50 people, 2 from each state. Now the Senate is still Republican dominated because they have the tiebreaker, whatever. So yes, that would be great if that's how it worked. But the Senate can pass it only if the minority doesn't filibuster. Okay? Now the filibuster was put into place to stop a rogue government who's by one thing to go all out, because we already know that the Democrats want the filibuster gone. They just couldn't do it because they want to force in, extra states. They want to do all this stuff to enact their policy. And I understand that, because I do understand that it's a very nuanced topic, because yes, when the people vote for people, they want the change to happen. They don't want it constantly being stymied and the can being kicked down the road. People don't want that. They actually want the change they want. Well, the people who voted for the change want the change, right? But the people in power also understand there has to be some sort of balance to protect the country from some extreme broad changes that happen in a minute. Like, you know what I mean? And that's why the executive order thing came out of control. But if you believe this is a Republican shutdown, you're a moron, because you don't understand how it works. Once the filibuster is enacted, they used to have to get up there and stand and talk for hours like I'm trying to do right now. They used to have to do that. But now they can just say, we disagree. And once they disagree, it enacts the filibuster code, whatever rule, which then requires 60 votes, not 51, 52 or a majority, 60 votes, which means some Democrats now have to say yes on the resolution. Okay, morons, I'm talking to you morons. Probably nobody that's watching this, but you morons don't understand. So this whole shutdown could have been prevented if the Democrats said, okay, let's keep the government open while we talk about healthcare. But no, for some reason, healthcare is the topic of the thing because it's all for the people, which it's not, okay? Stop being so naive. Stop. This has nothing to do with healthcare for people, because any immigrant can right now walk into a hospital and get healthcare. And guess who pays for it? You people with insurance. Yes, you Democrats who pay insurance are paying for these people, whether we have a government shutdown, a new bill or not, whatever. And if Obamacare was supposed to fix healthcare, why hasn't it fixed healthcare? Stop being morons. Please stop. Okay, you're going to kill your own country because you're too stupid or too naive to figure how this works. I'm tired of it. I'm really sick of it because now you're going to affect my life. And I'm going to tell you, I don't want violence. I've been around, I've been overseas. I don't want violence. But we are no longer communicating or talking about this. We're no longer talking. And I know I'm kind of going off in different directions here, and I'm sorry, but this is why I'm so tired. I'm so tired having to explain this again, that it's frustrating. It's very frustrating. We can all choose. The Amish have shown you that they can live a completely different life, not participate in our garbage, and still not kill each other. So go ahead and do what you want to do, but keep your damn politics, your dumb ideas out of my life. Keep it out. I'll do the same. You don't like guns, don't carry one. Okay? You don't like that I have a gun, then that's your problem. Stay away. I don't trust you, so I'm going to carry a gun. I had an interesting conversation with a lady who doesn't believe in guns. It scares me when these people, they don't need to be walking in with guns. I said, well, I understand the compromise. There's a policeman here to protect me, so I may not need to carry my gun. But that goes under the premise that I trust the policeman, right? The purpose of arming the citizens is not to kill people. Because there was a very interesting, I seen on the internet, Democrats don't like guns because they use guns to kill people. Republicans don't like guns because like guns because they use guns to hunt and protect their families and things like that. That's why the gun debate is so wrong. It couldn't have been more spot on. Their perception of guns is bad because that's why they use guns. They use guns as a weapon to kill. People for the guns don't do that. They use it for self-defense. They use it for hunting. So they're not even conceiving the gun as a problem. And that's why you have the gun dilemma. But in the end, you don't have to carry a gun, okay? When a criminal who doesn't give a damn about your laws, armed and breaks into your house and kills your family right in front of you, robs you, whatever, then you can be thankful that you didn't support guns that this criminal got a hold of. But stop telling me that I can't protect myself because I don't trust you or the criminals in your party or that you support. Stop telling me, okay? You are going to take us down a road of violence. If you think you're violent, wait till you piss off the silent majority who believes in carrying guns to protect themselves and their families. Because there is nothing in this world worth dying more for than in my family. Even before my country. Nothing. If I feel my family or me is threatened, I will not hesitate to use the training, skills, whatever it takes to protect them. So whether you think this is a funny, stupid game, or you think that every rich person is going to pay for all your little lazy ass programs, you are mistaken. Because rich people will leave and stop giving you their money. These middle class workers will stop working. We all can stop paying taxes and then just get this over with. Get it over with. So again, the shutdown, watch, this is my prediction I made. This shutdown is going to end very soon. Why? Because the Democrats knew if they can shut the government down and piss all the, especially at work, the government people in DC, they knew that they'd get their voters out because they're so angry because the government people, it's the Republicans' fault, it's Trump's fault. Because why? Because everything's Trump's fault, right? You're sitting here listening to Barack Hussein Obama, the biggest corruption president in the history of our time, tell you that, oh, DEI is blamed for everything. Yeah, maybe UPS had a deep DEI driver, I don't know, or pilot, but whatever. The point being is you listen to that garbage, but yet you somehow can't understand that, you're responsible or the Republicans are responsible or Trump's responsible isn't garbage too. Like, how do you choose logic? How do you choose who to believe? Like, how many fingers am I holding up? Oh, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like maybe 3, maybe, I don't know if you count the thumb hidden behind there, maybe 4. Like you can't be this stupid. But then again, maybe you can, because I'm starting to believe, I was trying to be nice and be empathetic toward people, but I'm starting to believe that we are breeding more stupid people than I think we've ever had in our life, and you just can't help stupid. I'm not the smartest guy in the world. There's a lot of things I don't know about. There's a lot of things I think I know and I'm wrong. There's a lot I know I don't know. Okay? But I'm not stupid enough to believe things without even knowing why I believe them. I mean, why are you protesting? Oh, he's a bad man. I've heard so many people talk about, just Trump and all this stuff. Just do the freaking research, dude. Do it. Just watch the Very Fine People video. Watch it. Just watch the whole video. Stop being a stupid mule. Stop. Because you're going to get yourself killed or other people. And I don't want that. I'm not afraid. What I'm afraid is taking another life because there's nothing fun about that. Nothing. But if I find my family or myself in danger, you better damn bet my survival instincts are going to kick in. It ain't no damn threat, because if you just leave people the hell alone, it's just that simple. You want the same in reverse? Okay, you want your little trans stuff? You want your gay stuff? I don't care what you do in the bedroom. I don't care how you dress. But just leave me the hell out of it. You don't get to tell me what I have to call you. You don't get to tell me what your priority is. That has to be my priority. You don't get to do that. You don't. You don't even have to talk to me, to be honest. And I would care less. I don't care. And if I need to do business and you own a business, you can choose whether to take my money or not. It's that simple. You don't want it, I get to choose whether to give you my money or not. If you partake in these things, I don't give you my money. It's that simple. And if you somehow think that you have the right to something that's mine, you're wrong. You're simply wrong. Anyways, the election was not a surprise. It's not the end of the world. We all knew this was going to happen, but I think the Democratic Party is crashing. I don't even know if I got my points. I just went on a rabbit hole, a tangent, but that just shows you that's how tired I am of this. I'm getting really tired of all of this. I'm not tired of politicians per se, because they haven't changed. Okay? They haven't changed. They've been the same politicians. Even you stupid Democrats know this. Not just Democrats. You stupid people know this. You dumb people know that politicians suck. Most of them are corrupt and evil, and they lie all the time. You know this, but for some reason, you're picking your favorite politician to pick their side and then hate your neighbor who had nothing to do with you, nothing. He had no problem with you, or if he did or not. But you're literally using stupid, corrupt politicians to prove some point that I don't know. Your humanity's gone. You've got no standards anymore. It's a joke. Okay? The way you twist the Charlie Kirk death and all this other stuff into something that's okay, but then make a criminal like George Floyd the end of all of the time. You're a moron. You're really just stupid. Okay? You're stupid. I understand it's a personal experience, your opinion, just like I have, and you can call me stupid all day long. But I guarantee you, if we were both put to a stupidity test, you would definitely fall below me if you believe this crap. If you believe this crap, you are stupid. And it's that simple. And I'm sorry, I don't mean to call people stupid because it's cruel. And I know the problem is there's really no solution for stupid. So if you are one of these stupid people, please find someone you love that cares about you, that is smarter than you. Ask them to guide you. It may not be me, because maybe I'm stupid too. Find somebody. But stop doing these things that are stupid. And the problem with this is we are a constitutional republic. We are not a democracy. There are not two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner. That's what you morons keep believing, that we are a democracy. We're not. The reason we're not a democracy is because the mob rule could easily pick the wrong thing, like the two wolves and the sheep deciding what's for dinner. We both know that a majority of people does not mean it's the best for the country or for the people. Okay, that's why we have these freedoms. That's why we have a constitution, because people realize that is a dumb thing to trust democracy. Now, we have democratic processes, yes, but I'll even go a step further, and you women can hate me, whatever, but I saw a really good, interesting debate about women voting. Now, it was brought up about the draft. Why is it that women get to vote, but they don't have to go to war? So women get to literally vote to send us to war. Now, that doesn't mean I don't believe women should vote. What that means is when you look at that example, it's shiny little item that says, hey, this is pretty obvious. You should not be voting if you don't have a stake in the claim or whatever it is. I can't remember the damn, whatever. You shouldn't be voting. If you are an idiot and you just suck off the government, you shouldn't be voting for free stuff because you're not providing anything. You're not contributing anything. You're just voting for, you're just the hungry wolf saying, hey, I'm hungry. Let's eat the sheep. Yeah, that's what you're doing. So we should have some restrictions on voting, on who can vote. I mean, this is getting nonsensical. It's stupid. And in the end, yeah, I'm afraid. I told you, I'm afraid that we're going to lose our country to outsiders. And I already went over this. I don't dislike outsiders because if you come to this country to be an American and you assimilate and give your allegiance to this country, you will be my brother or sister. But if you come to this country to take advantage of our wealth, our resources, our whatever it is, to just have your allegiance in your other country, go the hell there. Because if you think that's okay, then I will support our country going to your country and taking your resources. Now, yes, you can argue maybe the government has done this before. Maybe they have. Maybe our government has done that because that's because we got a bunch of people up top who are very greedy and selfish and want to continue to get rich. Okay, yes, we do have a problem. So I don't think Democrats are completely wrong. I don't think liberals are completely wrong. I don't think that at all. I think they're great at identifying problems, and I'm talking about the people, not the politicians. All of them are probably corrupt. All of them. Even if they didn't start out that way, they're in a system that makes them rich and gives them a lifestyle they do not want to give up. When was the last time you met somebody who willingly went from a billionaire to a millionaire to, nobody goes back down? That's a survival instinct. When they're threatened to go back down, things get ugly. Just like you little lazy ass EBT recipients. I'm not talking about the ones who deserve it, but you lazy ass ones who don't want to go to work. The moment it's threatened, you ain't cutting out your hair, your nails. You ain't cutting out all the unnecessary stuff to feed your family. You're mad because you don't get your free money for food. And then you're acting like you deserve that money because you made 7 mistakes with 7 different baby daddies, and now you got 7 kids that everyone needs to pay for your stupid decisions? And wait a minute, where the hell are the men that made these babies? Oh, we don't need to hold them accountable to raise their children. I'm a single damn dad. I've been so 15 years now. And guess who raised my kids? Me, not the government. I don't get EBT. I don't get welfare. I did that because I'm a man and I've got integrity. Your lazy ass needs to own up and get your ass back to work, start contributing. And then when you have hard times, you will get what you need. I did go to a food bank for 6 months, so that I can get off my out of my situation. When I moved, I was struggling. It helped me out. It was through a church. They were so awesome. They helped me out. Bam. Simple. That's what it's there for. It's not there for you to live on. But you people are ruining this country. And now that everybody wants a handout, nobody's going to be working. So your dumbasses aren't going to have anywhere to get the money from, which is exactly how we got in this inflation problem. There isn't enough money. So the previous administration decided, hey, let's just print money. And what does that do? It devalues the dollar. It causes inflation, which is another tax on the middle class people who work to pay your lazy asses. It's what it is. Now, if you're disabled, you're whatever, you're old, disabled, or you just can't work, that's fine. That's what the system was created for. That's what people agreed to support. Not because you're dumb and lazy. That's not a reason. Not because you can't keep your legs closed. That's not a reason. Get your sorry ass to work and make it happen. Stop taking people's money and acting like you're entitled to it. Again, I'm so sick of it. I'm getting so sick of it. So sick of it. There are things you can do in your life. We are such an entitled country and entitled people that you literally, I've said this a million times. I try to explain to people. I've been to countries. I've been overseas to several countries. They don't have free public libraries everywhere where a homeless dude can walk in there, get heating or air conditioning, and spend hours in there reading books, getting an education free, and then go out and applying that information and actually make money. No, instead you want to sit your sorry ass on a corner with a sign and have people give you crap. But even that is better than just waiting for your government check. It just blows my mind. And then even worse, so you have people that are so dishonest and corrupt. You work so hard to cheat the system that if you just applied that to a freaking job, you could probably be in management today. Or even better, to have your own business or making good money. But no, you don't. It's just so sad, and I'm so sick of taking care of people. I'm tired. I'm tired. And stop with the double standard woke bullcrap. Stop it. Before you go and criticize somebody, just like I'm doing, I'm fully content thinking maybe I'm the idiot. Maybe I've spent all these years in my life, I've went through all my experience, and maybe I still don't get it. Maybe I don't. And I'm open to that conversation. You bring an argument that convinces me, I will open and change my mind. Okay? But Trump bad, he's a fad. That's not changing my mind. Because number one, I already know you have no idea what fascism is. Okay? Putting a vice president into the presidency without anybody voting for her is fascism. Having a Congress people in Congress for 50 years is fascism. Like, so stop with the stupid, you don't know what you're talking about. Just stop. Even if I'm completely wrong, I'm probably way closer than you are. Just stop. Our society is just degrading it. And you people, you don't even have the ability to spend a few moments and reflect, to look stuff up. And I know, I get it. It's so hard today to find real stuff today. It is so hard to know what's true, what's not, and it's only going to get worse with AI and these videos, and it's only going to get worse. So if you don't have any cognitive abilities or rational thinking or problem solving skills, you need to sit down right now and figure out how to get them, because that is going to be needed in the near future, or we're going to have total chaos. Maybe that's what you want. Maybe you want total chaos, but you know what? You ain't going to make it, because even in total chaos, the people that'll win will be the rational, logical thinkers, because they can think ahead. They don't just say, oh, look, we want free bus passes. They don't just think like that. They say, okay, well, who's going to pay for these bus passes? Okay, well, what if those people decide they don't want to stay here and give their money? They can think ahead. So you're still going to lose. Okay, do you understand that? You're still going to lose. And in the end, if you don't care about this country, I get it. That makes more sense to me. Because if you're in the Trojan horse right now, this whole Muslim movement and this socialist movements, these countries are literally been telling you for years. The Russian interview guy told you for years how they were going to take over America. China, all these countries, they're not going to hit the shores with machine guns because they know that won't work. I mean, it will one day if the Democrats take everybody's guns away, but they're going to have to do it from within. And you sheeple, you idiots, you useful morons, are going to usher this in because what? Because you want power and control? Like, the king of a turd is still no one, because nobody wants a turd. So if you want to be the king of America, which you keep calling Trump a king, but he's trying to save this country, you want to be the king. You want to be the king of this country, but you're going to allow the Trojan horse in to turn this country into something it's not. What are you king of? Nothing. Nothing. You're going to be speaking Chinese or Arabic or speaking Arabic. Whatever, dude. I'm tired of it. I'm just so tired of it. We have a culture in this country, and if you don't come here and assimilate to our culture, then don't come here. I'm not saying Muslims are bad. I'm not saying people of all races, religion, they can all be good people. But step back for a moment. I know I've given you this. Step back for a moment and approach whatever's on your plate, whatever fear you have, whatever issue you're angry about, step back and put it in your house. Bring it into your home. Okay? If you think there's no problem with illegal immigrants, is there a problem with people sneaking in your window and you let them stay because they wash your dishes, but yet your trash fills up, your electric bill goes up, your water bill goes up, and you're paying for it? You have no problem with that? Bull. Bull, you don't. You do. Why? Because, oh, that affects me. Oh, I'm not doing that. But let everybody else do that. You're a moron. Okay? You're a selfish moron because you have no idea what that leads to. And unfortunately, morons like you are going to have to learn the hard way. The problem with that is you're going to hurt us while you're doing it. Hence the socialist running New York. I don't care if New York is socialist. I don't care. I don't care when you go broke because I'm going to beg our president to stop taking our tax dollars and bailing out New York. I hope the people in New York outside of the city do that before we have to. I hope there's a huge revolution between the upstate New Yorkers who don't want any part of your bullcrap because they're not going to want to support all you lazy ass people in the city. They don't want to do it. They're out there busting their asses every day to make a living. You think they want to support you? I hope to God they handle it before the president has to. I hope to God, because you don't get it. But anyway, bring it into your house. Tell me what you would decide there. And if that answer is the same answer as you would decide for your country, which is technically your house, then okay, then I'll respect at least that you have a standard. But I can almost promise most of you have no standard. You're just huge hypocrites who live in the emotion, and that's all you do. I can almost guarantee it. Because, again, how would you like to go to work 9 to 5, come home, get your $500 check, and then people at your house who aren't working say, oh, okay, where's my 100? Where's my 100? Where's my 100? And then at the end, you got $100. You're going to be like, oh, hell no. You are. If you don't think that, you're a liar, because you're going to. Nobody's going to go work their asses off and then give their money to somebody else because they don't want to go to work. Put it in your house. You're a liar if you say you'll do that. And if you do believe you'll do that, oh, I give to the needy, I give to the poor. What are you giving them? You're giving them your excess. Why don't you just give them your house? The same with this native land bullcrap. I'm so sick of it. So sick of it. Find me a country, a continent that wasn't conquered. Okay? If you believe you're on native land, then why do you live in a house? Why do you live in somebody else's property? Why? You get the F out, and then maybe I'll believe your story. But until then, you're a lying hypocrite, and you're probably a moron. Okay? If stupid's too harsh, you're probably a moron. Okay? So let's stop pretending. Okay? Let's just stop pretending. So I'm really done ranting on that. I want to go ahead and end this on a different note. I'm going to pull in a video that I saw. This guy I like to watch him. He does a little bit of shorts, and I want to pull it in to show you. I guess this is Army related because I don't want to keep ranting, but I guess I want to show. I don't know. This is something I've been harping on for a while, and I guess maybe I'll be, called a woman hater or something. I don't know. Whatever, man. Call me whatever the hell you want to do. But I want to share this video, and I hope the audio works. If not, I'm going to have to dub it later. This is a video I was watching, and just watch it, and then I'll commentate at the end because it's not very long, but watch this, and we'll get to it.
I am a woman in a military setting right now. I'm in the military, and I am on some orders right now, and I am surrounded by only men. And let me just say this trip has completely changed my perspective on men and how I feel about them and how I've learned about them. Now, on the outside of a military setting, I'm just a normal person, right? I'm a nurse. I would say I'm average looking in a military setting amongst testosterone driven men who don't see women or do not work with a lot of women, I am treated extremely differently here. And it has made me lose all faith in the male population. And I'm not even kidding. All of these men, okay, let's start here. There are some other women here. I'm not going to call them anything, but let's just say if a man does not find a woman attractive, I've learned that he does not fucking care anything about her. Doesn't want to talk to her, doesn't want to be near her. She could say something and he wouldn't even look her way. Okay? If he finds you attractive, different story, but even if he finds you attractive, he doesn't want to listen to you either. He just wants to talk to you and talk about himself, thinking that he's impressing you. And it's so obvious, and he doesn't know that it's so obvious. And it's such like a natural instinct that they do, and they just like, even if they're so book smart, it's like boom, their primal instincts kick in, and they just start talking about themselves and thinking that they're impressing you because they want to get in your pants, and it's like really unfortunate. And I knew this was all true before I came here, but I literally, when I tell you I see it every day, multiple times a day, it's making me lose a lot of hope and faith.
I'm not really understanding where the problem lies. And again, call me a Neanderthal. I am a C student, and I'm also a person that is very conservative Republican, and I lean way, way into my conservative bag, and I believe in gender roles. And I also try to make sense of the idea that we live in this new world where women are invading into men's spaces, and men are invading in women's spaces, women invading in men's spaces when it comes to locker room talk, banter, obviously military and all of this type of stuff, deployment. She don't work with guys that work with a lot of women, and then men going into women's bathrooms on the women's side when you liberal, right? I'm not really seeing the problem of how this is an issue when guys are guys, like men used to be men. But we have to integrate so much, and now we got to change our behavior for you.
I
So that is what's his name? Anton Daniels. I like to watch him. Yeah, he's got some good shorts. I like his takes on stuff. So, a shout out to him. I I just want to start off with this woman literally said she knew this was the way it is, and now she's acting surprised. Like, so let's start right there. She knew this is how it was. And how did she know this is how it was? Because she heard about it? No, because she's very naively trying to fool you into thinking she didn't experience this in college. I'm sure she went to college. She didn't experience this in high school. I'm sure she went to high school. She didn't experience this as a nurse because I'm sure she did. The distinct difference here is you have a larger pool of men out in those environments. But I guarantee you, even in college, you still have a lot of men that are still trying to hit on women. Hello, any one of you have been to a college campus, a party? Hello. So number one, I don't know what this woman's intention is, what she's trying to get intention. She is a fairly attractive woman. And one of the things I will tell you, in the Army, you have an overabundance of men. Yes, testosterone, hormones, and you have a small majority of women. Now, she did say one thing that was intriguing. She said, if you're not attractive, they won't pay. That's not true. We used to call them queen for the day. Ugly women in the Army get their pick. And let me tell you, there are women who know that. There are women who join the military to be surrounded by men because they probably feel ugly and know that when they get there, they're going to be, wow, this is so much attention. I'm not saying that's the case, but I know there are women like that. So I'm not saying they're all like that, but I've had my fair share of experience with many of these women. And they know that. So they're like the queen for the day. So imagine this. Imagine you have a pack of, 30 hungry dogs and a hamburger falls on the ground. What do you think's going to happen when all those hungry dogs see that hamburger? And that doesn't mean I'm comparing women to hamburgers, but it just illustrates why women don't need to be in the military. This is what I'm trying to explain to you. Because those hormones, that testosterone, we have a place to put the testosterone. That's why we do men things and all that stuff. There's a place to put the testosterone. The hormones, where do you put them? Where do you put that? You just can't let it go. So when a woman comes along, especially an attractive one, she is so naive to believe, or I don't think she's naive. I think she's just trying to get some attention like every other woman. That's a competition. Why do men talk about themselves? Because they understand they can't just attack the meat because they're hungry. They understand that. They have to maintain some self-control. Otherwise, they can lose their career, everything. Not all men have no self-control. A lot of them do. But unfortunately, the desire for the woman, when you're surrounded by men all the time, is so strong that we have to find a way to balance it. And how do we balance it? We know we're in competition. We know that if we can out impress this woman from, Private Snuffy over here and Sergeant so-and-so over here, then we get the prize. And I don't care what his intentions are, whether it's just to have sex and leave you or marry you, that's irrelevant. The game is still the same. We are competing with a bunch of other men. What are we going to talk about? Hey, do you like to sew? Oh, what is your favorite color? That's not how it works. Because then you're going to be like, oh, this guy's lame. There's nothing exciting about him. You might pretend, oh, I want a man who cares about me. No, you want a provider. And most men know you're going to want the cream of the crop because it's in society every day. The guy who drives the Lamborghini, the successful man, the tall, handsome. We know what women want because we see it in society. So we have to make you understand, hey, I am that guy. And not every guy does that. In fact, well, I don't want to reveal a secret, but my strongest weapon in the military was to not show interest in that woman. Because why? Because all she saw was a bunch of salivating dogs. And then she's like, why doesn't this guy want me? He's either gay or something very intriguing about him. Guess what? It got me a lot of attention. Not that I was some handsome guy but I'm telling you, the game is real. And this woman right here, I have to believe is playing the game because she knows. And she literally told you she knew. But I added this stuff because I wanted to put a little, military stuff in it. But I also wanted to just illustrate exactly where we are in society and how this works. She knows full damn well what she's saying. She knew full well what she was getting into. In fact, she loved it. She loved the attention, but she loves complaining about the attention more. If you were an attractive woman and all these men were into you, you're not going to tell me, oh, this is too much, I can't handle it. Now, if they were overbearing, sure. Now, if you believe, oh, there's no good men because all they want to do is talk about themselves. Well, then you try this in a different environment, not one that's overpopulated with testosterone and hormones, where you shouldn't be anyway, because you will become the object of desire. And again, this is my argument about women in combat. Forget about the smells and all the needs they have. This is what happens when there's a woman in foxhole number 2 and men in 1 and 3. They're all paying attention to that woman. Why? Because we don't control what attracts us. We don't control what attracts us. We have to control our behavior to the attraction, but we don't get control to control what attracts us. If we wake up in the morning, afternoon, evening, and we see a pretty girl, that happens. We don't get to say, nope, not pretty, but we do get to control our actions, which is how men should be accountable. Not that they find you pretty, their actions. So in the end, this is a perfect illustration of exactly why we are where we are in society. You walk into a wolf's den with a meat steak around your neck, and then you're totally shocked when all the hungry wolves want to chew at the steak. Stop. Just stop. Okay? If you don't want to be hit on, go to a gay bar like other women do. It's really simple. Just do that. But stop pretending. And honestly, I don't care if you like it or not. You shouldn't be in the military, especially if you can't be drafted and go to war. You shouldn't be in the military. Now, I know women do things way better than men, certain things for sure, just on average. Not obviously every person is different. Yes, support roles, I believe we can outsource. But as far as military goes, combat, these field and trips with, you know, opportunities that are not good, not pleasant, tempting men. I just don't think it's good for the health of the military. And honestly, argue with me about it. I don't care. Call me whatever names you want. I don't care. That is my opinion. And I am a veteran who's got plenty of years experience. You don't have to like it. You don't have to believe me. And if you do like it, great. If you don't, get in the comments, share, call me all the names you want. I don't give a damn. At the end of the day, I'm not really here for you. Although I would love your admiration and loyalty and all the other things that bring people joy. But in the end, I know you're just people and you'll disappoint me anyway. Johnny and Christine, you guys are exempt because you guys have been with this show from the beginning. And I really respect that you guys hung it out, stuck it out. I don't know why you find that much entertainment in this, because clearly nobody else does, which is fine. But it just gave me an hour time to get, you know, some stuff off my chest, things on the internet to hold, you know, me accountable to if I change my mind or I double speak, which I don't believe I will, because I try to live by integrity. You can use it against me. You can, whatever you want to do, threaten me with it. Just know that there's consequences with all that. Even my decisions and words have consequences. But if you step over that line, yeah, then know that you have consequences too. So in the end, I'm glad and thankful any of you are here. I appreciate you. Until next time, if there is one, Godspeed and pull the pin. Boom. Thanks for joining us here at Pull the Pin already. We hope you had as much fun as we did. If you like what we do, go ahead and hit that like button and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any of our future episodes. But most importantly, leave a comment below. Let us know if you agree or disagree with our opinions. Hope to see you here next time on Pull the Pin already.